Okay, here's the answers to the test that we just took a couple days ago. First one, bending is characterized by vertical cracking and occurs in what part of the beam? I was going for center because a bending cracking is going to be a vertical crack and it's going to occur in the location of maximum moment, which again for the most part would be towards the center of a simply supported beam. Number 2 is just a code requirement. That's true. Number 3 is D, all of the above. A, B, and C, each one of those things would give you more shear capacity. Okay, so it's D. The reinforcement location factor increases development length by 1.3 because D, the potential for air and water to get caught underneath the bars and then basically around the bars and therefore weaken the concrete. 5 is true. Larger bars will be needing more development length. That's just the way that it works. The shear problem. Calculate the maximum spacing permitted. You can see the maximum spacing over here comes out to 13 inches. Calculate critical VU at D. Well, here's the sort of the load diagram here. You can see I've had to take the dead load and multiply it by 1.2 to give me 30 kip concentrated load. The 4 kips per foot gets multiplied by 1.6, so that becomes a factor load of 6.4. My shear diagram, or half the shear diagram, goes up to 88.6 and then down to 15. VU critical comes out to 74.7 and some change. The V sub S, you'll need to hold that, or to give you a capacity greater than 74.7, is going to be 47, and I'll plug that into my spacing formula down here and solve for a spacing of about 7.3 inches. That means you'd use 7 inches. What's your first stirrup spaced at? This is really sort of up to you. I'd like whole inch increments, so you'd either say 1 at 3 or 1 at 4. You know, it can give a couple various answers. What's no stirrups? You know the requirement is where phi VC divided by 2 falls, V sub U falls under that, so in this case V sub U falls under 19.7 kips. This sort of got cut off down there, but this comes out to 10.7 kips, and that's like 129.12 or 129.2 inches. So really I'll accept a couple different answers here. If you said 3 inches, you're going to need 19 spaces at 7, because if you chose 3 inches and you said 18 spaces at 7, then when you add 3 in it, you only come up to 129, which isn't past 129.2. If you use the 1 at 4, then you can get by with 18 at 7. So either one of those would work. Last problem, 2 parts. Again, footing, and you're calculating the development past this, really the plane of the face of the wall. You can see all my variables there. The only one that probably requires some explanation is for the epoxy coated steel. The epoxy coated steel has 2 requirements that have to be met to use 1.2, and the one is you can't have a clear spacing less than 6 bar diameters. Well, we have like a 10-inch center to center spacing, so you know we have over a 9-inch clear spacing, which is much greater than 6 bar diameters. The other one, you can't have a cover less than 3 bar diameters, and our cover is given as 3 inches here, and since our bar diameter is only 0.875, a 3-inch cover is actually greater than 3 bar diameters, so I get by on each one of those. The C sub B, again, 1/2 center to center distance, or in this case The clear cover is 3 inches, so that's really not to the center of the bar, so it's 3.43. Really doesn't make much of a difference when you see CB plus KTR divided by that, because any way you cut it, it's going to be greater than 2.5, so you're going to use 2.5. So you run through the development length formula and you come up to just under 30 inches of length. Okay? Part B says, do the same problem. It's just that you're working with a hook now. I do have the epoxy coated. I don't have any lightweight concrete. So I just run my formula out and it comes up to 19.9. There are those 4 modifiers, A, B, C, and D. This says consider side cover of 2.5, but don't consider ties or stirrups or excess reinforcement. Well, ties, stirrups, and excess reinforcement are paragraphs B, C, and D. The side cover is paragraph A, so you would apply that. You have a side cover of at least 2.5 inches, so that modifier is 0.7. So your development length truly at the end comes out to just under 14 inches.